It's good to be in God's house this morning. My name's Dave. I'm one of the pastors here at Paradox Church, and I'm excited, y'all. Let's go. We got baptisms today we're going to get to, but we've been in this series for the last few weeks called Truth to Power, and what we're doing is saying when we speak the truth, when we believe it, and when we speak it, and especially when we share it to others, God uses that powerfully. That's what he does, and we've been kind of journeying through the book of Acts, which is the story of the early church. We started with Easter, and that's how really the early church started as well. They had spent some time with Jesus. He changed their life. There was this moment of hopelessness where it was like, man, everything's done, and yet the end was just a beginning, and it gave rise to this group of people that were radically committed. They would ultimately give their lives for the truth, the historical, verifiable, not just vague belief, but the historical truth of what happened in Jesus. It changed the world back then. It's been changing the world for the last 2,000 plus years. It can change your world and the world of the people that are in your life as well. So that's what we're going for. A lot of ways, though. There's kind of a bet going on right now about how many times I'm going to mention the fact that I'm not wearing blue jeans today. That's one. That's one, all right? Now, I'm going to tie this in. Watch how this is going to go, all right? Because I didn't really realize that this was an option, all right? I get in a rut. Anybody else with me? Like you have the two things that you wear? That's me. It would be very easy for you to dress like Pastor Dave. Blue jeans, black T-shirts. There you go. That's all. So I get in this rut. But the other day, we went out to... we went out to this vision night for Campus Crusade for Christ. It's called Crew now. It's on college campuses, and the stories that they told, y'all, God is doing some awesome things in the next generation on college campuses. But I had to dress up a little bit. So I found these. Anybody else have something that they find? They're like, oh, I have these pants, okay? Now I'm really into them. So I'm like, oh, I need to wear these pants. So is that 2 or 3? I don't know. Whoever had that. But in a lot of ways, that is the general sense, this vague spirituality that is actually present in our culture today. And we're back. I did it, see? All right? I had the same thing. When we got home from the dinner, it was a great dinner. Loved it. I really like more, all right? I like to eat things. It was a delicious dinner, just would have liked more of the dinner. So we had it, and then we get home, and I start looking for, Taco Bell. They came up with it. 4th meal, right? Anybody else love them some 4th meal? Yes. So I start going through, and maybe you've been there, right? I start looking through the pantry, the cupboards, the refrigerator, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for. I just know that I want something. It usually takes the form of a frozen pizza. Not a slice of frozen pizza, mind you. A frozen pizza, okay? That's where I live. Or maybe some of those pretzels, yeah? Y'all are getting hungry right now, okay? But I'm looking around, and there's all these different options, but I'm not quite sure. I just have this vague kind of sense. And you stand there with the refrigerator door opening, right? And you're asking yourself, mostly, what do I want to eat? I know I want to eat. I just don't know what I want to eat. And it comes back to this sense that we feel, maybe it's in the workplace or in your mom's play group at school or, on college campuses right now. There is a vague spirituality. Everybody is spiritual these days. Maybe you notice it even on your Facebook or Instagram, or some of your old people are on the TikTok. You know, I don't know. Maybe you notice it out there. And it seems like everybody's spiritual, right? Are you with me? Everybody's kind of interesting. Maybe it's the energy. Maybe we call it, it's the universe, it's karma, it's a higher power. We're manifesting things, and there's crystals, and people are into astrology now. There's all of these things. There's this vague sense that maybe there's more to life than what meets the eye. Maybe there's more than even planet Earth. People are really into aliens right now. We're kind of asking these questions culturally. Like, what else is out there? Is there more? Is there something more? Gen Z, the young adults, they're said to be the most spiritually open generation in recent history, as evidenced by the fact, by the way, that we currently have 3 baptisms scheduled for today, and they're all in Gen Z. They're all young. God's doing something in the next generation. Yes. People are not done with God. Your friends, your family, they're not done with God. They might not like organized religion, okay? And if we're honest, that's why a lot of y'all are here anyway. You know what? You're imperfect. You're going, man, I don't have it all together, but I'm looking for someone, something, and you found it. You found it here. They're absolutely convinced that there's something more, something beyond, something worth searching for. And instead of meeting that with judgment, going, oh, but you don't know, actually, no. What if we said there's something beautiful about that? There is a spiritual hunger out there that is real. Augustine said it about 1,600 years ago. Our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you. There's a spiritual restlessness out there, a looking or searching. Have you ever done this where you lost your keys or lost something else? You can't rest until you find it. Let's be honest, it's your phone, right? Where's my phone? It's like, oh, just chill out. I'm sure it'll turn up. No, I have to find my phone. You have this vague restlessness that there's something somewhere and you need to find it. That restlessness is not the problem. The problem is not that people are trying things, searching for something, going after someone, something, who knows what. That's actually a good thing. There's purpose in it. It's pointing somewhere. People want something that is accessible. They're looking for something that they can actually find. They want it to be for everybody. They don't want anybody to be left out. And that's actually a good instinct. It's a biblical instinct. But almost everybody takes this universal search and lands somewhere understandable but misguided. Here's where we often end up. If the questions are universal, then maybe the answers are universal too. Maybe, catch where we go now, maybe all paths lead to the same place. We're all searching. Maybe we'll all find in our own way, in our own path, Jesus, Buddha, the universe, the divine within, you name it, whatever it is. What really matters is that you're spiritually seeking. The journey, that's kind of where our culture lands. As long as you're spiritually seeking, as long as your heart is in the right place, you'll find your way. And we all smile and go about our own ways. It sounds humble. It sounds kind, unoffensive even. But Jesus says something. Jesus, he never cooperates, does he? Jesus says something in John 10 that makes things difficult. Says, I am the gate. I'm the gate. Not, I am a gate. Not even, I am your gate. He says, I am the gate. And that's kind of a problem if you want spirituality to be a vague spiritual buffet line. Because Jesus keeps refusing to be that. He keeps refusing to be another option. He said, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And all those these, the way I said the. Anybody else watch the NFL draft recently? Just this past week? One. Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe you've watched a football game at some point. Many people in our culture do. And you'll notice something. You know how they do that? Like they'll show the players and they say where they come from, what school they went to. There's something disgusting that happens in that moment. It's this. There are some people from a certain state, Ohio State. It's not good enough for them to say that they went to Ohio State. They went to the Ohio State University. And isn't there something in you that just wants to, you kind of want to punch him in the face a little bit. You're just like, let me punch you in the face, right now. There's something in us that hears, I am the way. It's like, that's kind of arrogant. That's a little bit unloving, right? So we definitely don't want to be that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be seen as the judgmental, the exclusive, the narrow-minded, the unloving person. So what happens? We soften it a little bit. We're like, well, I'm going to talk about Jesus, but as a good option, should you maybe choose to consider it? So, well, that's my truth. We do a little bit of PR for Jesus. He's an old man. We gotta kind of really tamper down what he's saying. There goes Jesus again with the way stuff. We soften it a little bit. We want to be loving. So we start treating truth like it's not. It's not truth. And we end up losing something. We're going on a little bit of a detour here, but it comes into play because while we're not going to be explicitly in the book of Acts today, this is the conviction. This is the truth. More than belief, this is the truth that drove the early church to do and be and see everything that they saw. Y'all want to see the things that the early church saw? Okay. You want to see healings? You want to see people come into faith? You want to see communities changed by Jesus and the gospel? Then maybe we have to go, what did they believe? What did they know to be true? Because there was power on that. And the most loving thing that we can do is say so. Jesus is not just a way. He's the way. He's the gate. Well, that's not an exclusive claim. It's a loving one. It is loving. Here's point number one. Jesus doesn't just point the way. Jesus is, everybody, come on, get your Ohio State on. Jesus is the way. It's not just a way. This is love. I know this might turn some people off. If you're listening, you're like, here it goes preacher man again. This is loving. It's the most loving thing that we can say. Jesus doesn't just point the way. He is the way. He says it in John chapter 10. Jesus again said to them, truly, he's like, this is truth. I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they might have life and have it abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. In the book of John, all throughout it, there are these 7 statements that have largely come to be known as I am statements of Jesus. He says, maybe you've heard some of these, I'm the bread of life, I'm the light of the world, I am the resurrection, I am the vine. Here he's saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and I am the gate. Each one of these are actually an echo of Exodus 3. Goes all the way back to the book of Exodus, where God appears to Moses in the burning bush, and Moses says, who am I talking to, burning bush thing? What is this voice that I'm hearing? And God says, I am who I am. If anybody asks, tell them I am sent you. So, when Jesus says, I'm sure that you heard it, right? I am the vine. Ears perk up, okay? It's just like we just said, the way. Their ears would have perked up with, I am the gate. That's God's name. There's this trend right now out there of athletes, mostly athletes, but they're saying this thing, I don't know, kids these days, right? I'm at the age where I watch pro sports now, and I go, kids these days, you know? These are the athletes. These are the people I spent my childhood looking up to, but there's this trend of saying, I'm him. Anybody heard that one? I'm him. I'm that guy. I'm the man, the real deal, the undisputed, the best, the elite. I'm him. In a way, this is echoes of I am. Who is this guy? I am what I am. I'm him. I am. And every time Jesus says that, he is making a claim that his audience understood. That's what they would have heard. And they would have either found it true or extremely troubling. Very troubling. It wouldn't be any different than if I were to stand up here and start saying, I am. That would trouble you as a God-loving person, right? It should. If some of you are like, I don't know the answer to this one. Yes, it should trouble you, okay? But that's what Jesus is doing. So it's either true or highly troubling to people. There's no middle ground. It's not like, oh, Pastor Dave's kind of edgy today. He's making these God claims. No, it's true or it's troubling. And that's what Jesus does. Well, this is where Jesus' claim to be the God gate actually hits the hardest. Jesus' audience also knew, not only did they know what I am was, they knew what a gate was. See, you have more in common with ancient people than you thought. Okay? They knew, unless you don't, because I think I know what a gate is too, but my mind was a little bit blown by what I found when I was studying this week. Because my idea of a gate is very particular, all right? It's suburban, and it's in my backyard, and it's keeping people out that aren't me. Even better if you can keep those people from even seeing you at all, right? Call it a privacy fence. There's other... Okay. All right. I want to show you a picture, though, of the ancient gate that Jesus would have been referring to. Out in the fields, there would be shepherds that are tending their flock by night. Maybe you're like, yes, Christmas. It's Christmas in April. It feels like it anyway. So why not go back there? Shepherds that are tending their flock, and they would have built these little sheepfolds, they were called, or I don't know, pen or little place to keep the sheep. Now notice that there's an opening there without what we would consider a gate. Don't you think that it would be very, very useful if you wanted to keep the sheep in, safe, out of danger, to have a gate on that thing? Yes? Okay, now I want you to hear Jesus again, because it gets a little bit different. Jesus says, I am the gate. I'm that gate. I'm the one that stands in that. In first century Palestine, a sheepfold, it's like this. It's a simple stone enclosure, and at night, when the flock was safely inside, the shepherd would lie down across that opening. He would put his body in place as the gate. Nothing is going to get in. Nothing is going to get out. Quite literally, the claim of the good shepherd is, over my dead body. Over my dead body, you will get in there and get my sheep. I put myself there. I put myself in the way of danger. I take the heat. I take the brunt. I am the gate. Is it to keep the sheep out? No, quite the opposite. The sheep don't just tolerate this. It's like, man, that shepherd, he's kind of controlling, don't you think? They don't just tolerate. They rest secure because of it. They know the shepherd's here. He's the gate. He's got this. I am safe. I can rest. He's the reason. Saying, I'm the threshold. I'm the only way in. If you want to get in, you have to go through me. That is an exclusive claim, but it is far from an arrogant claim. It may be the most humble claim that you could possibly make, the most loving claim that anyone could possibly make. I'm the way in. And if anyone wants to hurt or steal or kill or destroy those that are inside, they'll have to go through me. I'm the gate, Jesus says. There's danger out there. There's danger, and we need security from it. More than that, we need saving from all of that danger. And if you're here today and you've never actually walked through that gate, hear this verse again. I'm the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. And he'll go in and out and find pasture. This is an open invitation, sheep. Come on in. Come on in to find the place of safety, the place of rescue, the place of shelter, the place of salvation. Come on in. I'm the gate, Jesus says. You'll be able to rest. Your soul, your restless soul, will find rest in me. There's an outside world of danger, and there's an inside world of security and rest and love that you were invited into, that you were made for. And the only in between is the door, the gate, and anyone can enter through him. Anyone can enter into him. Now, this is different, though, because when I say, and anyone can, what many of us will hear is that everyone does. No, just because anyone can doesn't mean that everyone actually does, which is the claim of saying all paths lead to the same place. Very, very not the same thing. Anyone can, but not everyone does. And this is where it rubs a little bit, because we think that exclusive truth is not inclusive. But exclusive truth, hang with me here, all right? It's going to be up there so you can read it as well. Exclusive truth and inclusive love are not mutually exclusive. Did your eyes go crossed? All right, well, an exclusive truth claim and being willing and saying, hey, this exclusive truth claim is inclusive of everyone, means both of these things can actually coexist. They can both be true at the same time, but our culture thinks that that's not true. I'm confused. I'm lost. Maybe you are too. Well, let's get into it, because here's the objection that usually comes next. And I want to take it seriously because it comes from a real place. We'll hear this and we'll say, well, saying that Jesus is the only way is narrow and it's exclusive and it leaves some people out. And so I want to be clear about this. Some Christians have actually done this. They've used the exclusive claims of Jesus as kind of a weapon. Whether that's done intentionally or unintentionally, we use this, there's only one way to actually mean, and it's mine. My way is the right way. And we exclude people that we don't like. Or maybe we maintain in-groups and out-groups that actually have a whole lot more to do with our preferences, what we like and who or what we don't like or is uncomfortable. Oh, I know who the in people are. I know what my way is. It's people that look like me, that think like me, believe like me, vote like me. What happened? You know, we try to be an inclusive, true church around here, but that doesn't mean that we give up on the exclusive claims of Jesus. Jesus is for everybody. It's the only truth that has transcended all of time, every culture. It has no geographical limit. I want you to think about all of the different groups, all the different religions right now. They seem bound by geography, or at very least a certain people group. And if you're not this, then you are out. Quite frankly, it is what a lot of the New Testament is about. The early church, just world being blown up, that perhaps God was actually for not just the Jewish people, but that Jesus came first to the Jewish people, and through them, the gate would be wide open for anyone, anytime, any place, any culture, any land, for all of eternity, all of history. Anyone can come through these gates. Doesn't matter who you are. We have to separate this. An exclusive gate is not the same, though, as an exclusive invitation. Read verse 9 one more time. Whoever enters through me will be saved. The gate is narrow in one sense, and that if you remember that from that picture, there's only one, and it's not all that big. Jesus at one point, by the way, said that there's a narrow path. There's a narrow path. And here he says, and I'm the gate. I'm the way. I'm the way in. But it's wide in another, because it's for anybody. Absolutely anyone. I don't know what your past is. I don't know what you're currently thinking, feeling, struggling through, doing. The gate is for anybody. That's why we say, come as you are. No perfect people allowed. This is an inclusive, loving invitation to the exclusive way of Jesus. It's not excluding sheep. It's excluding every other way, every other shepherd, every other religion. There is no other way to what is inside there. We'll also get to there not being any other way to what's out there either. That's more to come, all right? I'm getting ahead of myself. This is what Jesus says. Again, 1 Peter chapter 2, Peter is talking about Jesus. He says, he himself bore our sins in his body on the tree. Did any other religious figure do this? No. No other religious leader or teacher bore on themselves our sin. They might be able to point the way or teach a truth, and that truth might even be true truth. But no other leader bore on themselves our sin. That is exclusive to Jesus. That we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds, you have been healed. If there's healing available to you, it's not because you found a good path. It is by his wounds that true healing and freedom actually come. It is by his wounds that real forgiveness and salvation actually come. There is no other way. It's him. I want to go back to this because, again, like anytime I go, there's no other way. Do you know that exclusive claims to truth are made all the time? I want you to go back to the last time that you were at the doctor's office, okay? We're going to talk about a couple of doctors. The first is the love doctor. It's not what you think, all right? Because the love doctor comes in, and it doesn't matter what your test results were. It doesn't matter what they saw in the x-ray. They know that people like good news. And they have a business to run after all. So they come in, and they say, I don't know, I mean, you might want to pay a little bit of attention to this spot here. But things like this usually turn out all right and everything, and I don't want you to freak out. So the love doctor is so loving and gentle that they actually get rid of the truth altogether. If there were something going on in your body, friends, would you want to know? one might even say that it was loving to deliver the truth. And that is when Dr. Truth kicks down the door. Oh, you're going to die. You know, it's like, the truth. All these other doctors don't love. And you're like, okay, I think I might find the other doctor again, you know, because there's a way to do this that is also not loving. You can give truth without love. And you can be loving without truth, and neither one is right. Neither one is right. Jesus, full of grace and truth. That is how Jesus came to us. That is the shepherd. And it says, you were like straying sheep in verse 25. But have now returned to the shepherd and overseer of your souls. He's full of grace. He's full of truth. He's full of love. What Peter is saying is that there's not a bunch of sheep or people out there that are on different but equally valid paths, you know. No, I think about this. My dog, Charlie, okay? If he got out of the house, I wouldn't sit there thinking, good for him. I just love that he's seeking happiness right now, just in his own way. I mean, who am I to constrain him to my house, eating my food? I want freedom, and I want what's best for him. I hope and pray that he finds his path out there. That everybody's laughing because that's ridiculous. That's unloving. Okay? What is offensive to us is the idea that we might be a little bit more like sheep than we imagine. In this vast universe of which thousands and thousands, at least thousands of years into humanity's existence, some people might say it's even longer than that. We still know almost nothing. We're discovering new things all the time. All the time. At an almost alarming pace. To think that in the vast scope of history, in the vast scope of the universe, that we, little old Dave Kubiak, Sterling Heights, Michigan, born and raised, has any sort of idea about what is actually true and what actually leads to life is laughable on one sense and sad, terrifying on the other. It is no more ridiculous than thinking that Charlie will find his own path out there in the world. His brain is small. I tell him all the time, you're stupid, okay? I can say that because he's a dog, but, you know, maybe there are some parallels. I don't know. I'm just saying, okay? I'm not saying, just saying. We're straying. We're lost. We're off guard. We have a general vague awareness. We're hungry. We're looking for something, but the way back isn't self-discovery or finding our own way or that works for us. It is a shepherd that at great personal cost goes out and makes a way back. That image, the straying sheep, the seeking shepherd, it runs through Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. It goes into John 10 with what we're talking about. 1 Peter, you were like stray sheep, and the shepherd, the overseer of your souls. All of the biblical authors throughout thousands of years of history, in different times and places, not knowing each other. This is something that actually stands up in court. When people who have never met one another all tell the same story, it's very compelling evidence. And this is the story that Scripture tells. Throughout every time, every place, over thousands of years, they talk about a shepherd who comes and at great personal cost saves his sheep. And anyone can come in. It's not the same as everyone is in. Some of us have heard things, we've said things maybe even where we say, well, that might be your truth, Pastor Dave, but it's not my truth. Might I submit to you that nothing that is not the truth can be your truth? I'll let you catch up. If it's not true, it's not your truth. I want the truth, not my truth. The claim that all spiritual paths are equally valid is not actually humble either. It's not loving and it's not humble because we think that we're saying, I don't want to tell anybody that they're wrong. Maybe all paths are actually okay. Do you know who specifically you are telling that they are wrong when you say every path is equal? I mean, generally speaking, you're saying all followers of Jesus are wrong, number one. Number two, specifically, and very few people are willing to specifically do this, you are saying, Jesus, you are wrong. I know that you said that you are the way, but I actually think that there's many ways, and only one of us can actually be right. So, sorry, great moral teacher Jesus, you're a little misguided. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. It's not humble. It's not that there's one that's narrow-minded and arrogant and the other is just completely all-inclusive. No, you can't get around it. You're going to think that somebody's wrong. We all do. That's the nature of truth. There's not your truth and my truth. There's just truth. And I want my truth to be the truth. True? All right. So you can't claim to agree with Jesus and believe that all paths are equally valid. All right. Some would say that's not really the way to grow a church. Dave, I know that we're struggling with space in here, but this is not the way to make space. Dave, no. Well, some people don't really like that. That is true. But I want us to look at the growth of the early church really quickly, because this is what they said. This is Acts 4:12. They preached a very exclusive message. It cost them greatly. They said, salvation is found in no one else. For there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. That's pretty clear. That's pretty exclusive. And what happened as a result of that? Some of them gave their lives for it. There were some that were turned away because of it. But you know what happened? Acts 2:47. The Lord added to their number daily, those who were being saved. There's hungry people out there, y'all. They're standing in front of the spiritual refrigerator going, what is there to eat? I'm starving. And we oftentimes are sitting there going, I don't know. I mean, just look at all those options. I don't want to tell you, but no, there is a way. There is a satisfying, fulfilling, true, saving way. And it's been given to us. We know it. This is the most loving thing that we could possibly do. Their confidence in one exclusive truth did not shrink their witness. It exploded it. Because when you know where the gate is, you don't keep it to yourself. You grab everyone that you love. We've had some crazy weather lately. And even, y'all heard the tornado sirens over the last couple of weeks? Tornado sirens have gone off, all right? Here's how my kids react. They jump up and go, oh my gosh, and they run downstairs. You want to know how I react? I go outside. Anybody else? I go outside. I'm like, where's this thing at? You know, it's like, I'm hungry. I'm looking for something. I look outside. Now, my kids love me, okay? You know what they don't do? Well, Dad'll find his own way. They love me, so where do they want? They want me in the shelter. Come on, Dad, get down here, okay? I'm curious. I'm hungry. I'm searching, but they want me safe. They want me secure. That's what love does, friends. That's love, all right? Some of us would say, I don't know, all this tornado shelter. That's exactly what I don't like about Christians. They just live these sheltered lives. They run away from everything. They go in the basement of life and hide until Jesus comes back to send us to heaven. No. Point number 3, Christians aren't just sheltered. We are. We are sheltered, but we're not just sheltered. They're shepherded. We are shepherded. I want to go back to John 10. Because Jesus says there's a thief out there, there's other shepherds, and they want to steal, and they want to kill, and they want to destroy. But Jesus says, I came that they might have life and have it abundantly. I'm the good shepherd. There's bad shepherds out there. I'm the good one. I'm the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. Do you see this contrast, right? There's those that kill, and there's those that lay down their life. Jesus says, I'm the good one. I lay down my life for my sheep. I wouldn't take anything from them. He who is a hired hand is not a shepherd. He does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming, and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. He flees because he's a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. The implication here is that Jesus does. Jesus is the good shepherd. Jesus is the one that cares. There's a million other shepherds out there. Jesus has been talking about thieves and robbers since verse 1. There's people who try to get the sheep by going over the wall, who scatter the flock and abandon them at the first sign of danger because they're not out. They don't care about them. They're only out for personal gain. They're false shepherds. They're false messiahs. There's false spiritual systems, religions, teachers that make promises that they can't keep. Is it starting to land for us here today? Okay? There's false things out there. Jesus says they will steal from you. They will kill you. They will destroy you. And our culture doesn't like that framing. We want to say all spiritual paths are equal, and it doesn't matter who or what you follow as long as you're sincere. Now, but Jesus is saying something that every one of us needs to hear. Not every spiritual path is safe. Not everyone is safe out there. There's a lot of spiritual paths. Not every guide will lead you somewhere good. Some of them, even the ones that sound convincing, the ones that sound spiritual, they're actually thieves. They'll take something from you. Sincerity doesn't sanctify a wrong direction. You can be sincerely lost. That's what Jesus is saying. I bring shelter and rescue and salvation, but I also have come to lead you out into pasture, that you might have life and have it to the full. This to the full phrase, have life and have it to the full. Maybe the gospel that you've heard is simply so that you might go to heaven one day. That's not untrue. That is full eternal life, but this fullness of life is not just a time. It is a quality of life. A present and available reality. Right now, in Greek, it's parison, which means above and beyond. More than enough, overflowing. This is the hunger. This is what everyone out there, everyone, for all of time has been looking for. You might call it Zen. You might call it nirvana or inner peace or the good life, whatever. This is what people have been looking for. There's a Hebrew word for it as well. Shalom. Shalom. We think it's just like a peaceful greeting. It's so much more. This is the life that Jesus was describing. He's saying, I am the gate that shelters you from everything that's not shalom and the one that leads you out into it. If you want full life, follow me. I won't lead you somewhere that's no good for you. I won't lead you to destruction. There's teachers out there that will. Jesus says, I'm the good shepherd. I give my life for my sheep. I'll lead you into fullness of life, complete, whole, everything in right relationship with God, others, yourself, the world. Shalom is what is the life that Adam and Eve had in the garden. They walked with Jesus. They were in right relationship with each other and with the rest of the world. And Jesus says, if you walk through the gate, I'll lead you back to that. That's where I'm going. I'll lead you out into good pastures, green, safe, covered. Praise, come in and go out. It's full, free life. You're not trapped. You're safe. You're free. You're fed. Jesus is the way. He keeps the danger out. He protects. He loves. He lays down his life. And Jesus leads us out into life. There are other shepherds that lead us astray, but Jesus, the gate of Jesus is not a constraint. The gate is what makes the full life actually possible. He says, if you follow me, I'll lead you to life. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Other translations say, I have everything I need. He makes me lie down in green pastures. That's it. We don't hear it, he makes me. No, I don't even want to. I don't even know what's good for me sometimes. And Jesus says, lay down here. Just lay down right here. You can. You don't have to be looking on the lookout. Is there something coming? When's the boot going to drop now? Jesus says, I'm here. You lay down. Lay down in a green pasture. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. And John 10:3 says the shepherd calls his own sheep by name. If you're here today, it's not an accident. That's the thing. You're the sheep. And Jesus is calling. He knows you by name. Not a vague universe, a force, vibes in the universe that are just kind of pulling on you or something. No, there is a shepherd who sees you, who knows you, who hears your cry, who knows what you're going, the danger, the fear in your life, and he responds. Some of you have been in that place, maybe for years. You've been on a path, and if you're honest, have been taking something from you rather than giving you something. You've been working for peace instead of receiving it. You've been performing for approval instead of just resting in it. Jesus says, the thieves out there, they come to steal from you. And some of you know the stuff that's been stolen from you. You've trusted their voices. You've walked down their paths. You've exposed your life or your family or your marriage or your finances or whatever it is. You've exposed yourself to them. You've followed them going, yep, something was taken from me in doing that. But Jesus says, listen, do you hear my voice right now? Because I'm calling you back. I'm calling you safety. I'm calling you to rescue. I'm calling you to salvation. And I'm calling you to follow me into fullness of life. So that's the invitation today. This is the invitation, all right? Come on. Walk through the gates. Not when you finally get your life together, today. Not when you've sorted out all of your theology. It's the starting. Just come through. Because on the other side, there's a shepherd that knows your name, who loves you, who already laid down his life to open up the way, and he's calling you right now. In just a few moments, we're going to get ready to celebrate those that have already said yes to that. If you want to say yes to that and start this journey, we'll have a slide up on the screens as well that says you said yes. There's a connect card. Just let us know that you are. Maybe you want to pray with someone. We have prayer stations all around the room people that would love to just walk with you and go, come on, let's go to Jesus together. Let's walk into that sheepfold together. Let's follow him together. And right here, one of our elders, Rory, is going to be right here. And if you want to talk about today being the day to get baptized, come and talk to him. Guess what? We've got extra shorts. We've got extra t-shirts. It's all ready, all right? All you have to do is walk through the gate. Come on, let's go.